let's bring the presentation back. Okay.
I really like the presentation. It looks very professional. And I like some ideas, like the LPN idea to help patients. I think it's really good to increase the quality. Also, I see the patient care flow. I see the interaction between physician group, radiology, and laboratory. But right after these slides, you explained the EMR. But I think EMR is a really important part of that patient care flow. So maybe you may want to first explain EMR and put EMR into this to explain this better, because this is really important to save costs and increase the quality. But it's good that you guys mentioned that on the flows. I also like the idea of the diabetes clinic, because it's one of the biggest cost problem, one of the biggest problems that increase the cost. Also, I would like to see some numbers for example, for Medicare, how much we spend for diabetes in general, so we can picture the problem better when we see these kind of statistics. In overall, I really like the presentation of the clinic.
I had a couple of questions. On one of the follow-ups, you were talking about having an LPN do the consult and the home visits. Can you bill for that?
Yes.
You can bill for that.
For the LPN, ask me a question.
Can they bill for the LPN to do this consultation and the home visits?
I actually don't believe that LPNs are qualified to do that for the home visit. It has to be on we can check it.
I thought it had to be an RN.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the nurse visit, it has to be minimum
probably PA as well.
Or a PA.
Yeah, well, PAs and NPs, they do home visits independently, but for a nurse to visit, bill for the nurse visit, it has to be an RN.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. And will the lab and the radiology program be at your clinic, at your convenient care group? Is the lab going to be incorporated as part of this practice?
Yes.
Almost like a full one-stop shop?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's going to give the patient a convenient that when they need to get their lab work done or the radiology, they're coming in for the routine visit, they can get any kind of normal lab work done, but get their mammogram done at the same time, and it'll be able to coordinate it.
Kind of like a healthcare campus, you know, each facility will have each clinic to run off of, you know, so it's all in one area.
It's very close to the medical home concept.
Right.
So pretty much.
Right.
Some of the medical offices, like Glasgow Medical Center, People's Plaza, Limestone, they have, in different practices, the concept is to provide the service in one location.
Right.
But in your case, it's more like from one practice, it's provided to the patient.
It'll be all in one building.
Without being in different practices. Now, there are some issues with that right now because of the referral relationship. With the technical money, that technical income that you earn by referring more studies to your own group, your own physicians, from your physicians to the your technical side of the business, so you actually you potentially make more money. And then with the system, with the reimbursement system we have right now, it actually doesn't monitor how many you order, how many studies you order. It doesn't look at medical necessities. So there are some safe harbor procedure that they need to have. So, but I think that's changing as well.
Okay, and then I guess, you know, I would have liked to have seen some numbers that compared the difference between the ER cost and the cost of coming to your clinic. So you talked about it being $60 to $175 a visit.
Right.
I know ERs cost a lot more, but maybe if you had some specific examples, like someone with a broken arm who comes to your clinic versus going to the ER.
I can tell you, triage for the state of New Jersey, is approximately, just a triage is $107 to walk in the door and speak to a nurse. So, and that's not to talk to the doctor, so you're just going in and you're being triaged, and if you're walking right out the door without seeing the doctor, I mean, that's $107. So, providing the numbers, I could do that. It's just, that was an example of.
Right, it's just, I guess I like numbers, even though I'm a
Absolutely.
speech person, but I like numbers. And then, how are you gonna determine the flow? I mean, you came up with, the doctors are gonna see 6 people an hour, and you can coordinate all the appointments, but I kind of have to wonder how many doctors do you need during the day versus how many do you need from 11 to 7? Maybe you need more pediatricians from 11 to 7. How would you determine that? Because I probably wouldn't want to go to the doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning for a physical.
Right. Well, with any organization, there's always going to be change. And starting out, there's always going to be 3 internalists on at one time.
Mm-hmm.
If we find, if it's found the need to rearrange the schedules, whether you may need 2 internalists in the middle of the night for the sick visits, and you need an additional one during the off center of the middle of the day or in the morning, you have the option of moving that around if need be. But right now it's 3 doctors on 3 internalists on at one time, which allows consistent.
I mean, it looks really good on paper, but I do have some concerns about the money aspect of it. I mean, it sounds very good, but when you go to the ER, sometimes it's overflowing and other times you can walk right in. Not often can you walk right in, but sometimes it's a long, long wait. So I just wondered how you determine, how would you decide how you're going to adjust these physicians and how accommodating are these physicians going to be to changing their schedules?
I guess initially I would start out with, in a perfect world, the schedule, and then you would keep within your own statistics within the building, realizing that there's not the need for the staffing, and then also maybe advertising yourself and marketing yourself out there so that the community is aware of the services being provided, so that they know that it's there to be able to create more patient flow into the building. I worked night shift for a long time, and getting off at 11 o'clock at night, I never had time during the day to do any of that. So I think maybe getting out there to the community, marketing ourselves so that they know that we're here, that could increase the flow, but then we could always let scale back if the necessary is not there.
No, it sounds like a wonderful concept.
I think part of that is going to be is more for the emergencies anyway. So I think based on the when any kind of project like this, when they go live, they make adjustments based on the demand. Mm-hmm. So if there's not enough visits, I guess at that point they need to make some adjustments on their schedule.
If there's meeting, maybe because of the office location, if it's found that one physician is not needed at one of the offices, but is it really needed at another office, being able to provide the assistance because of our locations being, separated.
Okay, in your concept of the daycare, you had elder disabled also. You didn't address that. Are you planning on taking that out or leaving? Are you going to leave it in?
Oh no, I apologize. I did not address that. We will be able to provide assistance for the elderly patients and disabled care. Again, when being a child taking care of your elderly parent, having to be able to, having someplace to go and getting your treatment done, so you're not neglecting yourself.
So it would be a daycare center for elder disabled as well?
Absolutely.
From 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then one more, and then I'll let you talk to you. I have a lot of questions. See, when you have a great project, then you have lots of questions. I noticed under the Women's Health Clinic you avoided the word abortion. Are you going to provide abortions at your clinic? you did everything else for,
That's not something that we discussed, as an idea, I guess maybe because it was a touchy subject, so we.
well, it is, and that's why I wondered if you had avoided it for that
Yeah.
reason, or are you not going to? It seemed like you were so all-encompassing, and so, would you do referrals to people, would you, just was curious.
I think that could go along with, our counseling services that we were providing. The mental health and stress counseling is something that at that point I guess we could help the patient through there and refer out if that's what the patient's necessary was. But no, we didn't really go there on that topic.
Okay, thank you. It was very good, very well presented.
Thank you.
It was good, I do agree. Would like to see numbers for the ER as well, because again, hospitals are very, very expensive, but so can running a physician's office 24 hours a day. Physicians aren't cheap either. And when we talked about 24-hour care in the class, it was more on the lines of having a nurse or a nurse practitioner on the phone 24 hours a day, so she could tell you if you need to come in, or if you need to be the first visit in the morning, or if you need a prescription, or if there are other options, because just sending everybody to a doctor's office can still be pricey.
But I think that was part of it, but that's the triaging the calls. But once they determine those calls, they don't have to go to the ER. They need to be able to go somewhere. So part of that, I think it was one of the other pilot projects, the viewer study. What it said was they put someone for 24/7 triaging the calls for the emergencies. But then what you do once you decide, okay, this patient doesn't have